Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Italian Pavilion's Amphitheatro. My name is Khadija Tawfiq. I'm a university student working at the Italian Pavilion as a peer mentor, and it is my honor to welcome you officially to the closing ceremony of our workshop on innovative education and schools, which we have called WISE. So, to begin this ceremony, first of all, I'd like to warmly greet all of you, but also anyone watching us from home. I'm talking about students, teachers, parents watching us online, so a great warm welcome to our online audience. Furthermore, I'd like to go and take a minute to think about the journey that we've been on these 3 days. We asked you throughout this week, now at the end of the Urban and Rural Development Week, the Expo Thematic Week, and at the beginning and in the midst of Dubai Design Week, to think of your ideal school. We asked you to think about a space that can represent what your ideal education in the future looks like, and that is exactly what you did. How did you do that? This was a competition called a hackathon, and as I did in the opening ceremony, we defined a hackathon as a 24-hour project marathon to imagine, build, and experiment new solutions to societal problems. In this case, we asked you to put your skills, your talents, your passions, but most of all, your personal experience in common with your teammates and come up with a project. This is a marathon that was done in teams, and I can already see, and I've seen in the couple of days that we spent together, that you did work a lot together. At the beginning of this event, I talked about the finish line, and we are in fact at the finish line. This is currently how we're going to cross it, and who is crossing it? The 20 hackers, or designers as we call it in this hackathon, from 9 different high schools and 4 different teams. Just to reiterate what our challenge was in these 3 days, we asked you, as I said before, and this was the very specific words that I read with you, design a new school building with safe, welcoming, sustainable spaces, capable of innovating school activities, ultimately multiplying educational opportunities. And when I presented this challenge, this macro challenge to you, I said to keep in mind the 4+4 scheme. So 4 priorities that you had to keep in mind when coming up with your project. The first one was safety. So safe, and it's in a broad sense. So safety and environmental well-being for the creation of the best environment, also in harmony with the environment, but also safety of the single person that's inside it. Sustainability, and this is the broadest sense of sustainability, not only environmental, but also financial, in terms of time, in terms of, let's say, how waste is managed inside the school, and maintenance. Of course, also keeping in mind renewable resources and renewable sources of energy inside the school. The third priority of each project was supposed to be human relationships. So we didn't want to lose the sight of what exactly those spaces are made for. And a lot of people, a lot of architecture students put this in a broad lens to keep in mind and never forget. So that was the third, to strengthen human relationships. And the fourth was was didactics. So being capable of generating opportunities, so obviously also a space that can adapt to methodologies of teaching that are different than the ones that we're learning and we're going through today. Those were the 4 priorities of the challenge, and then we moved on to more technical and operational assessments. And these were the 4 things that you see on the screen. The first one was territory, so thinking about the context that you find your school in. We asked you to place your school in a specific geographic area. Secondly, we asked you to think about digitalization. Obviously, we're in 2021, we can't have a school that is disconnected from the rest of the world, but not only was it about connecting it to other schools, it was also about using digital platforms for the best possible quality of lessons. The third one was georeferencing, and this one was very technical. So what kind of ground do you want to build your school in? How exactly, in which, let's say, area of the city, for example, the suburbs, urban areas, etc. And then the last one was the use of the school. So it was important to understand the target of your school, so which level of education you would be reaching through your school. That said, a quick These were the 3 phases that you followed. There's no need to go through them again with you. You already know. But we asked you to think about a schematic phase, the first one where you came together and came up with a general vision, a shared vision of your project. Then we asked you to put in use the 3D virtual reality headsets, and that was one of the more technical things. We also asked you to use computer softwares, so this was the more technical side of the challenge. And then lastly, we told you that this step, and this is in fact part of the methodology, this step of communicating your project was the last passage. Then next, I would like to go through why now? Why do we find ourselves here now? And I've already said that we're in the midst of the Dubai Design Week, but also it's important to remember that WISE is not an event, not a once-in-a-lifetime event. It's something that we've been building out throughout the years. What you see on the screen behind me are past WISE events that actually went through a journey through the Italian territory. So this last one will happen in Rome, but it is something that has been built up and evolving throughout time and throughout space, and we're very proud to bring it to Dubai finally. So let's say WISE here in Dubai as the ultimate stage of a very long journey. That said, I'd like to pass now to, I wouldn't want to take any more time from the real protagonists of today, and I'd like to introduce our jury members, very esteemed jury members that are here with us. First, we have Professor Marina Grisoni from representing the Italian Ministry of Education, who we thank for their support and their promotion. Next, we have Ms. Isabella Colangelo from the Italian Pavilion, from our commissariat here at Expo 2020 Dubai. We have Professor Mohammed Balila from the American University of Dubai. Thank you for being here. And lastly, we have Professor Anna Barbara from the Politecnico in Milan. These jury members are here. They're here to listen to your projects and to give feedback on the work that you've been doing in the past 3 days. And I would like to refresh in your memory, even though it was very transparent in the first days, the evaluation criteria that the jury will be following when listening to your presentations. The first one is feasibility. And in this terms, and I've already explained this, it was time, money, so the idea of sustainability that we mentioned at the beginning, but also consistency. So how consistent is your project with what we asked you to do? How is it the correct answer to our question? The third one was innovation. So how out of the box is your project? How did you think differently from how things have been done so far? The fourth one was sustainability again, but there's a mistake on the slide because this one was actually integration. Integration in sense of added value to the territory that it finds itself in and the people that it involves. And last one is this very moment, the final presentation of each team. So without further ado, I'd like to call on stage team number 1 and give them a huge round of applause. Team number 1, please come on stage. Before I leave you the stage, I'd like to mention 3 things, and this is important for team number 1 as well as the other teams as well. You have 5 minutes, you're well aware. Secondly, you have this remote that you will be able to change the slides with, so the speakers can keep it. And last thing, feel free to take off your masks while speaking, and here is your mic. Team number 1, the floor is yours. You can choose whichever one you want.
Hello everybody, we are team number 1, we are called Be Free, and I'll let you guess why later. Please have a look at the... It isn't working? Okay, so... now? Okay, let's get back to now. No, yeah, now we're working. Sorry. Please have a look at these faces. Do you see the guys in the last row? He's basically sleeping. How what's this problem? Maybe it's more interesting to thinking about some more beautiful things like our girlfriend, our beautiful sport, rather than listening to a teacher speaking and speaking and speaking to us. We are not working together. It isn't. This is what we like doing. And it's not me that is saying that, it's the students all over. There is a questionnaire made on 122 students, made of 100 questions, in which the students could rate what they like to do and what they didn't like to do. And the lowest was, I like to study. The highest, I like to work in group. We had to work on that. So, our vision to solve this problem is that our new classroom must be free from limitations, evolving and adaptable to new highly interactive and dynamic teaching methods. Who and where are we going to apply this? We thought that it could be useful to apply this in middle schools in Italy, because in middle school we have a range of person that are between 11 and 14 years. So it's before they get to high school and university. And if you want to increase their wishes to study harder at university, in high school, we have to start here in middle schools. Also, we decided to make this in the Piana of Catania in Sicily, because Sicily has the highest rate in middle school of propensity to dropping out of school. It has a percentage of 1.3% of people. So let's talk about our structure, our design. The structure is made of 5 different parts. You see it colored in different colors, and these colors means that every part is specialized in a different thing. We have a research part, an inspirational part, which has also a brainstorming. The blue part is classrooms, and the green one at the center is a garden. We have also the gym part and the research one. See, the hexagons are all of different heights, because in this structure we wanted to represent the dynamism and the action we want to see in teaching in classes. So let's talk about our main structure, our main room, which is obviously the class, because it's where the teaching takes place. In the class, we have big desks, because students have to work together, not in singular. And also we have these big walls with this big glass wall, which lets a lot of light enter, and so that the students will be more comfortable. And also, what if we don't need desks? We can just fold it and put them away, because there's a mobile wall that just opens, and we can go and put them there. If we don't also have enough space, 2 rooms connected together with another mobile wall. So everything is so dynamic. We can just change what we want to do. I thank you, and now I'm going to pass the microphone to my colleague, Abdelrahman.
Now, for our materials, we have made sure that they're inextricably tied to their function in their respective spaces. So our materials that we have used are ashcrete, which is derived from volcanic ash from Mount Etna. Now, because it's locally produced, it is readily available, it's cheap, it reduces water waste, it is eco-friendly, and it is less energy intensive compared to concrete. Sheep's wool or mushroom's root can be separately used for insulation. And these can be derived from the many farms that we have in Sicily. Because we know that Sicily, the terrain in Sicily is usually composed of fertile land. Now, the sand from the beaches can be used as part of our safety priority, where we have sand dampers as shock absorbers, and local materials such as clay and concrete can also be used to build the walls.
Team 1, your time is almost up.
Now, wildly sustainable, because we have used, again, repeating myself, we have used local and recycled materials, and these these materials actually help reduce the CO2 emissions, such as solar panels, where we have exploited the fact that in Sicily, the sunlight hours are very high, especially this year in 2012. Now, the timetable. So our project is going to span over 4 years of design. So in the first year, we're going to be identifying the site. The team will get together in order to collect the materials and then allocate each of their functions and properties to the spaces. And then in the second year, the 6 classrooms will be built, hopefully. And then the third year, the labs and the second floor. In the fourth year, we have the interior design, and then our project will be finished. Now, we will not be alone. We have some stakeholders that will finance our project too, such as Enjoy Sicily Association, which promotes non-formal education among young people, and then the European Social Fund, and then the EU Regional Development Fund, and the Regeneration School project in Sicily.
30 seconds.
Finally, we have our added value. Now, as one social impact that we really want to engender and promote here is that producing highly skilled set of workers using our design that promotes a functional and very interactive and highly stimulating environment for students. Hopefully, we will be able to reduce the dropouts greatly in middle schools. So you have here the average dropouts in Italy, and that tells you why we have chosen Sicily, because Sicily has the highest rate of dropouts. And hopefully, our vision, which envisages the interventions that help us improve the school. Now, here are our fellow.
Thank you so much, team number 1. That was a great project. A great hand for team number 1. Good job. Okay. Thank you so much. I'd like to make a precision that the fact that the video that they showed and all of the 3D renditions that they came up with, that was all done in the past 3 days. They did it from scratch. They started with no knowledge. So a really great job, guys. Thank you for sharing your project with us. The next team that will come on stage is team number 2. I'd just like to remind you that I will let you know when 1 minute is left and then when 30 seconds are left so I can keep you on time. Okay, thank you. Team number 2, please come on stage.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Awab.
And my name is Abdullah Khan. And today we will be telling you guys about our vision for a sustainable and an affordable school in Pakistan.
Now, a vision cannot start without a location, which is why we have chosen the country of Pakistan, specifically a state called Mianwali.
Now, Mianwali is a city present and the center of Pakistan. It is surrounded by many lakes, trees and grasslands, and it's the best of example for opening a school in Pakistan.
The problem with Mianwali is rampant in most of Pakistan, which is the mismanagement of resources. Mianwali suffers from the mismanagement of resources due to the uneducation of certain individuals and the incompetence of many people in the country of Pakistan. This causes many of the main processes and industries to not flourish in the country, and this will further lead to the decline of the economy. Next slide, please. Okay, now our school is called Barouli Bay, which is named after Barouli, a small town in Mianwali. Now, our school will provide students, competent students, who will then turn into skilled workers.
And then when these skilled workers go for job opportunities, this would lead to industrialization, love for sustainability. It would cause increase in job opportunities, and the demand for skilled labor would increase automatically. And this is our vision, offering Pakistan a sustainable and territorial revolution through our means of schooling, which means that we want to revolutionize the education system of Pakistan through our means of education.
Now,